Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Precious Malepo. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. As you can see by the title, today I'm going to be speaking about the more technical side of CTA, in particular scheduling, how to stay on top of your workload, and I'm going to make particular reference to how I scheduled and organized my workload and my work schedule last year compared to this year. For those of you who don't know, this is my second attempt of CTA, so I have the privilege to notice mistakes that I've made from last year to this year. Let's start with this year. So my approach is basically surrounding the principle of how do you eat an elephant? Do you eat it bite by bite or piece by piece, or just the notion that to do or to achieve a big goal you need to do little things every single day. So at our university, they release a list of things, lectures and material that's going to be released during the week, and it's our duty to work through those. I take that list of things that we need to do. So they will probably release, let's say for example, 5 things. Do this lecture, tune in for this Q&A. Q&A is like a tutorial. No, Q&A is a Q&A, like you go on and you ask questions. Prepare this question for a group class. A group class is like a tutorial. What else? That's it, you know. So they release a list of that for all subjects at the beginning of the week or the week before for your planning purposes. And so what I do is I write out a list of things. I write out all the lectures that they gave us, Q&As that they gave us, and I'm going to number it right down the list. And then what I do is I add to this. So I add to it, maybe do question 1 of the Companies Act, question 2 of the Companies Act, 3, 4, 5 of the Companies Act, however far I want to get for the Companies Act for that week if Companies Act lecture was released. That's, say, for example, that's auditing, right? So for tax, I would then say do active recall this subject or do active recall that subject. For finance, I'll say practice this question. If I'm struggling with the principles, I'll consult, and if I receive the consult, for example, at the end of the day, I will write on my list, work through the consults of last week or whatever the case. But what's important to see is I individualize every single task, as small as it is. I make it like an individual. I make it a priority, and there's one, like it stands on its own of things to do. For accounting, I'll maybe say write out the principles of this topic or the standard, do explanatory example 1, 2, 3, 4. All of those things will be listed as different numbers. So explanatory example 1, do explanatory example 2, do explanatory example 3, and then 4. I'll break down my list like that. Then when I'm done writing out the list of things that I need to do, I will divide it by the number of days I want to be done with it. Whether it's 3 days, 4 days, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is obviously depending on you and how much you can do in a day. It's nicer to do it over 8 because I feel like from personal experience, if I divide it over, let's say 4 days, and think that come the other 3 days, I'll be relaxed enough to do revision. Because those 4 days are so intense, come those 3 days, I'm usually really tired. The benefit of doing it like this, like scheduling out your tasks like this, is to help you focus on the task at hand, because I feel like with all the quantity that we have in CTA and the little time we have to do it, it's very common that you rush through the things that you need to do. You don't do them properly, you miss the learning opportunity, and you're not getting real quality learning from your studying. And you're focusing on the quantity, which is normal if you're overwhelmed and stuff. Don't underestimate the amount of work that you've done, even though you finish it early, because you sitting and focusing and doing a task compared to you not focusing and fooling around for the whole day and being finished at 12 o'clock at night compared to 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it doesn't mean, like, you can still do the same amount of work, you're just more focused. Also importantly, if you don't finish your list of things to do at the end of that week and you're left with 4 more things or 5 more things, and then don't freak out, carry it over to the next week. Don't discard it. I think What's important is to look at every little thing as important, okay? And as something that's going to contribute to your learning. Don't be like, I didn't do this question. It's gone, it's gone. Like, it really helps. Carry it over to the next week. Treat everything as important. By saying this, I don't mean stress over everything. I just mean like, don't underestimate what you are ignoring and what you're saying, I'm not going to worry about that. One, that becomes a habit, and then you'll find yourself saying, I'm not going to worry about that for a lot of activities and a lot of things that you really need to worry about. And two, it's a learning opportunity, and it's something that your lecturers have given you for a reason. I spoke about this in my mistakes video if you haven't watched it, but just to touch on it, my last year's scheduling was basically when my lectures were released. I would sit and I would probably be scrolling through my phone, and I would probably speed up the lecture. I would listen here and there, and then when the lecture was finished, I would be like, oh my gosh, I feel so good, I finished this lecture, let's go on to the next thing on my to-do list. That was basically the approach. Whether I did it properly, whether I learned from the question, the fact that the question is finished was what was important for me, which defeated the purpose of learning. Also, come study break, I pushed like 14 hours a day, thinking that that would help me pass, and there's no way that I can push 14 hours a day and fail. And then my September results came, and I didn't improve at all from June. And I remember for finance, I even got like 30 something % for that September. And I touched on everything. I touched on all the topics, but I rushed through them. I rushed through them because in my head, I was thinking of the quantity of work to do rather than quality studying of the work. So yeah, those are my biggest differences. And I would sit for 14 hours every day, and I would push those 14 hours. I don't even know, looking back, I don't even know what I was doing in those 14 hours. Like I said, I touched on it and I felt good that I finished my list, or I felt good that, but I wasn't studying it properly. And I feel like my approach this year, the primary goal is to make sure that every single task that I do, every single question I come across, I make sure that I get the most of it. And if I don't, which is okay, you're only human. If you are in the position that you think, you know what, I am not going to get the maximum benefit from this question, or I'm not going to get the maximum benefit from this lecture today, that's okay. Postpone it to tomorrow, and then do it tomorrow. I think it's so much better to do so much less stuff, even if you don't finish your whole list of things to do. But the things that you did do, you do them well. That is so important. You need to do the things that you do well. Have my marks improved with this method? They really have, and I'm so grateful. I really hope that it stays this way moving into the end of the year. I hope this video really helped you. Don't hesitate to drop any questions that you have down below. If you have any video suggestions, do the same. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.